Hello and welcome. It's your main math man, Mr. Lyons here, and we are on page 113. And today we're determining how many times larger or how many times smaller quantities are when they're written in scientific notation. Here's a quick reminder. Make sure you annotate this, pause the video if you need to, for what scientific notation represents. Let's take a look at this warm-up here. So you should have filled this in already, right? How many times as many home runs did Derek Jeter hit in 2009 than in 2011? Well, pretty simply, you should have gotten 3, right? Because in 2009, he did 18, and 18 is 3 times greater. How many times greater is 18 than 6? 3 times greater, right? And in your mind, you could have done this, but if we were to write this out, right, what operation did you do in your mind to get 3 here? You say, well, in the year 2009, divided by the year 2011, right? In 2009, he had 18 hits. 2011, he had 6 home runs, not hits, excuse me, sorry, Derek Jeter. And that's how you get 3, right? And I want you to notice that our division came in the same order that the question was being asked. That's the simplest way to explain how to figure out how many times something is compared to something else, right? So take a look at part B. This might have been a little more difficult for you, right? How many times as many home runs did Derek Jeter hit in 2011 than in 2009? Now, what's the difference here? The difference is the order again. It's now saying 2011, how many times as many home runs did Derek Jeter hit in 2011 to 2009? Well, think about the order. That's the simplest way when you're asked questions and you're trying to figure out how many times larger, smaller. Think about the order. How many times larger or smaller is 2011 than 2009? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did at the top, year 2011 compared to the year of 2009. Right? That's what this question is asking here. And now we're actually taking the reciprocal, we're flipping this over, right? It's going to be 6 home runs in 2011 compared to 18 home runs in 2009. What do you get here? Yeah, you can simplify this. 6 over 18, right? Divided by 6 over 6 is going to give you 1/3. So the answer here is how many times as many home runs did he hit in 2011? He hit 1/3 of the home runs in 2011 compared to 2009, right? That's the biggest thing we're learning today, and the order is the most important part, okay? The order, when you're dividing, that's how you're going to figure out, is the order is the most important piece. Now, the only other way I can explain this is how many times as many home runs did Derek Jeter hit in 2009? So that's, again, order is important here. We're trying to figure out how many did he hit in the year of 2009. We want to figure out what that's equal to. Then when you compare that to 2011, right? But this way is a little more complicated because then you go, all right, year of 2009, he hit 18 home runs equal to what? We don't know how many times that is. We know it's going to be 6 times something, right? Divide by 6, divide by... That's the same thing we just did here. The exact same thing. You could do it down here too. How many times as many home runs did Derek Jeter hit? All right, we want to figure out how many times he hit in 2011, right? So the main thing is how many times did he hit in 2011? This is equal to something. And we were comparing it to the times he hit it in 2009 times something, right? And in 2011, he hit it 6 times. The year 2018, and we were trying to figure out, all right, what is this times? Divide by 18, divide by 18, we get the same thing, right? But I don't like this method. The biggest thing is just you're going to be dividing all day today. So we're going to be dividing. Keep that in your head because we're figuring out how many times something fits into something else. And we're going to be dividing, and the order is the most important piece when you're figuring that out, right? And you're going to actually talk about that a little bit in your vocabulary section here. So go ahead and fill in the vocabulary, and then I want you to read example 1, and I want you to use the easy number strategy, and I want you to think about the order that the question's in, right? About how many times larger is the world population than the U.S. population, right? Think about the order. We're dividing today. Fill in the blanks, and then try to do example 1 on your own, and then I'll check you in the next video.